Gentleman is a new modern era gangster movie directed by Guy Ritchie. If you don't know who Guy Ritchie is, the man from Uncle, the two Sherlock Holmes movies, Stock, Lock, and Barrel, Aladdin. He directed Aladdin last year. Maybe you liked Aladdin, maybe you didn't like Aladdin, but the bottom line is that Guy Ritchie is directing a gangster movie this time around, and to me, this is kind of more his speed. He's really good at making these type of movies. The cast for this movie is really, really good. Matthew McConaughey, and you got Charlie Hunnam, you got Colin Farrell, Hugh Grant, you got Henry or Harry Goldman? I can't remember his name. He was in Crazy Rich Asians. Really fine-ass woman that I cannot remember the name of for some strange reason here. Had it on the tip of my tongue before this video starts, I swear to God. I feel like I know her name. I just can't remember it. Man, it's frustrating. The story for this one is kind of complicated, but I'm going to try to keep it as simple as I can for the sake of my sanity and for the sake of the viewer. So Matthew McConaughey in this movie plays this drug lord. He has amassed this huge empire of wealth and success. One day he's trying to kind of leave that life behind, and so he starts trying to transition into a new stage of life. That means that the wolves come out and the vultures come out and they start circling, and there's a lot of other greedy people that really want his money and his success and his business. So ultimately what this movie is a whole bunch of other gangster type people lurking in the shadows trying to scheme and bribe and do whatever they can to get a hold of Matthew McConaughey's business. That's basically the plot, without revealing too much. Guy Ritchie is one of those directors that I've always had respect for him, but I also can tell that a lot of other people don't have the same level of respect for him. I don't know, it kind of just varies depending on the people that I talk to, but the people that I talk to that don't like Guy Ritchie, they say he's more style over substance or whatever. It can't be denied that Guy Ritchie does have great style. He brings that style to his films. What I appreciate about Guy Ritchie's style is the fact that he's kind of one of those show and tell type of directors where he kind of makes something seem complicated, like he has this big story. It's kind of like a magician. You know how like a magician will show you a magic trick and your mind will be blown? You'll be like, oh my God, how'd they do that? And then he kind of peels the curtain back and he shows you how the magic trick worked. And somehow you're still sort of in awe about it, even though you now know how it works, so you're not going to be impressed with it the next time. Kind of what Guy Ritchie does. He just kind of goes movie to movie. He has these quick edits where he inserts funny things or he inserts information you didn't know at the time, and he kind of peels the curtain back on the stories for his films. Appreciate that he brought that style to this movie, and I appreciate the fact that it really elevated the movie. Every actor in this movie seems like they're having the time of their lives. Like they're all having a really fun time playing these characters. Everybody was great in this movie. Matthew McConaughey was great in this movie. Colin Farrell was really funny in this movie. Like he was unintentionally funny at times. Hugh Grant was funny as hell. Next to Colin Farrell, who's probably the funniest person in the whole movie. I think my favorite performance and my favorite character in the movie actually was Charlie Hunnam. Charlie Hunnam was just one of those characters where if he walks into a room, he's kind of quiet and he's cool, but you feel like he has a plan for whatever happens in that room. He was very calculating. He seemed like he was very reserved and very restrained. There's a lot of humorous moments all around. That kind of dark comedy that you like to see in a gangster movie like this. This is a movie that's violent and it does have its serious moments, but it's a movie that also feels like it doesn't take itself seriously. So I appreciate the tone. Some of the twists and turns of the story, like after a while you really do get into it and it really does become one of those engaging experiences. And for a movie that came out in January, man, that's just rare to find. There are a couple of problems in this movie though that kept me from full enjoyment. One of them is the C word, which I will explain in full detail right now. Those that don't know what the C word is, the C word stands for cunt, and they use cunt a lot in this movie. I know cunt is like one of those icky words that people don't like talking about, don't like hearing. Kind of like the word moist. Like you ever hear the word moist or damp? No, you don't, because people don't like talking about those words. The same thing with cunt. I feel like most people don't like using that word. I don't have a problem with the word itself. It's more about how lazy they are when it applies to the dialogue. Dialogue in this movie, I feel like it really could have benefited from a little bit more of that snappy, witty dialogue where people are bouncing the words off of each other and it's really fun and engaging conversation. Sometimes in this movie it feels like they have an opportunity for that, but then they get lazy and it just kind of devolves into a bunch of cuss words and C words over and over again, and I don't know, it just kind of felt a little bit lazy to me. I'm pretty sure every actor or actress in this movie says the word at least once. Like I'd have to go back and rewatch, but I'm pretty sure. Like I said, no problem with the word itself, it's fine, and I like cussing in a movie like this. I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying that sometimes it seemed like there was an opportunity for better dialogue in situations, and the movie went the other way, and that was a little bit disappointing. The bigger issue with the movie is that sometimes it gets a little bit too convoluted for its own good. I also feel like this is something that'll get better on rewatch. Guy Ritchie kind of throws the kitchen sink at you right out of the gate, and there's a lot of information and you're trying to process everything. This is one of those movies where it's a story within a story, and then within these stories there are a bunch of subplots that connect to each other. Sometimes in this movie you do feel a little bit lost and you feel like there's a little bit too much going on. The Gentleman was a surprisingly good time for a movie in January. It's like, damn, Why can't most movies in January be like this one? Like, this is the model citizen of January movies. Look at this cast and you're like, all right, that's awesome. And then you look that it's in January, you're like, oh, shit. Okay, what did they do? Who did they piss off to get dumped in January with the rest of the trash? Overall, The Gentleman was a really fun time at the movies, really enjoyable. I'm going to leave this one in the Silver Age for Man of Steel. Guys, those are my thoughts on The Gentleman. So tell me, did you see it? What did you think about it? Let me know your opinion on the movie in the comment section below. Like and subscribe to the Superfan Show. And as always, if you like what you see, tell me how you feel and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.